Welcome to LKN Connect and People in the Know. And I have a wonderful person for you to know today. I'm Margie Kyle. I first want to thank our sponsor, Coco Couture, your upscale women's fashion store nestled right here in the Lake Norman area. Today, I'm proud to introduce our person in the know, Rebecca Peacock, Director of Sante, Mecklenburg County Crisis Response. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did get that right. I know it's a little bit of a mouthful.
Oh my gosh. Well, when I first heard you talk at Rotary, I was so impressed with what you do. What are the steps that led you to where you are today?
So I have my bachelor's and master's in social work. So I kind of took that route for schooling. And then when I graduated in 2016, I pursued my clinical license in social work. So I'm an LCSW, a licensed clinical social worker, and have been now for like 9 years, but been working in the field for 10 years doing crisis response. So social work is a really broad degree. So you can do all sorts of things. You can do case management, you can work in hospital systems, you can do outpatient therapy. But I got roped into crisis response. It was the first job I ever did, was mobile crisis. And then from there, I've kind of navigated through the crisis continuum. So I've worked in mobile crisis out in the community. I've worked in hospital emergency departments and behavioral health emergency departments, as well as on 988 or the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. So a little bit of everything.
You are doing amazing things. That's really a heavy job.
It can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're really seeing people most often on one of the worst days of their lives and in one of the worst moments. And we are really humbled to be able to be there and be present for people and show up and support them.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you're saving lives that really don't want to end their life, but don't know where else to go.
Mhm. So mobile crisis services have been around for quite some time. Here in Mecklenburg County, Sante has been providing mobile crisis services since 2006. So we're actually on our 20-year anniversary
Oh,
this
good.
May. Yeah. So we've been the sole mobile crisis provider for the county. And I think people have a hard time understanding what that means. Like we all can conceptualize 911, law enforcement responds, and then maybe you go to a hospital. But this is an alternative to that. So we have a
Okay.
24/7 hotline that people can call. That's 704-566-3410. So
Can
they're
you
able
give
to,
that to us again, just in case people just grab their pencil?
yeah, 704-566-3410. And people are able to call our 24/7, 365 hotline if they're experiencing a mental health crisis. And we let people define their crisis. What's a crisis to me might not be to you, and vice versa. So we get all sorts of calls, maybe people that are experiencing suicidal thoughts, homicidal thoughts,
Yeah.
people experiencing psychosis, substance use, that kind of stuff. So it's an alternative to calling 911 and having law enforcement respond out. And so it's just a mental health clinician that is responding out into the community wherever you're at, so long as you're within Mecklenburg County. Each county has their own team, but we provide services for Mecklenburg. And our whole goal is to just de-escalate situations, provide that emotional support, and divert people from the 911 system, hospitals, engagement with law enforcement and the criminal justice system. And if we do feel like they need that level of care, do that clinical risk assessment and make those referrals.
Is there any room in your company for people to volunteer if somebody wanted to help?
At this time, we don't have volunteers, and that's just because it's a long process to get trained in this, and we're looking for people to have those clinical skills. But what we are doing is starting an internship program. So people that might be looking for internships, maybe for social work if they're in their social work program or some type of
Okay.
human services. And that's just, we really want people to know that this is kind of like an area of specialty. In social work, we think of specialty being like outpatient mental health or child welfare, but crisis services is a specialty in and of itself. So I feel really passionately about that and want others who are coming into this work to know that it's an area that they can pursue.
It's so important for you to be out there for people who really need it and don't know where to turn.
Mhm.
It must be a devastating feeling for them.
Yeah, and again, just to reiterate, I know I already said this, but most people don't know where to turn during a mental health crisis. They know to contact 911. They know to go to the emergency room. But sometimes we don't need that level of care or that level of involvement. Sometimes you need a mental health professional to come out there and sit on the ground with you and
Yeah.
validate your feelings and your experience and talk through the moment and like how can we keep you safe in your own home with your natural supports.
So somebody out there who is saying, wow, this is something I think I'm going to need.
Mhm.
The best way to get a hold of them is through that one phone number.
Yeah, so you can contact us through our hotline. You can also 988, which is the suicide hotline, are trained to kind of be like the central dispatch to us. So if you
Okay.
contact 988, they also know how to get in contact with
Well,
us.
that might be an easier number to
It
remember.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the whole goal of that too, was to remember 988. And again, if you're not located in Mecklenburg County, you can always call us, like our number, and we can get you connected to the team that's in your county. And there's a website through, if you go Google North Carolina mobile crisis teams, there's a website that pops up with the state, and you can put your zip code in, and whatever area you're living in, it'll pop up to whatever mobile crisis team is in your area.
I so appreciate what you're doing for so many people that really need it. And it
Thank
seems to be
you.
today that everybody's sort of feeling like they're hitting rock bottom and don't know where to turn.
Yeah, I think it's a really overwhelming time right now.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and we definitely see that our call volumes continue to increase. And part of that is awareness of the services at this point. We've been trying really hard in the last 6 months to a year to just remind people that we're here, let them know we're here, and that we're here
And
to
so,
support.
what's your website if they wanted to go to your website?
The website is thesantegroup.org. So THESANTE group.org. And so
Okay.
on there, you can look through the different services that we provide. Sante is a Maryland-based company that opened down here in Mecklenburg County in 2006. So you'll see some Maryland things on there. But yeah, there's just different services that we provide on there. There's also options to make donations to our team, even if it's, an amount for a tank of gas for somebody to respond out in the
That's
community.
right.
As a nonprofit, we're consistently kind of meeting some funding issues. And so if it's something that you feel like you would like to support, there's options on there as well.
Well, and I think before you get into that crisis mode, if you suspect that this is something that you might need, it would be really worth their while, I would think, to go on and look at your website and have a few things jotted down just in case they get to that point.
Yeah, not just that, but you don't have to be in a crisis to call us. If you're just curious about what it might feel like to call and you know that maybe this is something you would utilize in the future, give us a call. Just say hi. Have a quick
Okay, and
conversation.
that's a great starting point, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We get all sorts of calls. If you're not sure if we're the right service to call, just call. We will let you know if we are, and if not, we'll try to get you pointed in the right direction.
What a service you're providing. I just so appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you for
And
saying
once again, thank you, Coco Couture, Candace Bongiovanni, owner of Coco Couture, and also Carolina Classic Cars. If you are someone doing great things in our community, we would love to hear from you. Email me at designingdr, that's DESIGNINGDR @gmail.com. Thank you so much for all you do. You're making this a much happier, safer place for all of us to live.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Bye for now.